This is the Board of Health meeting, Thursday, February 16th at 6 p.m. in the land use room. It's a hybrid format being recorded. And tonight in attendance is Sue Braska.
Jean Nilsson.
And Tom Hibbert.
We don't have Mackenzie Kane. Is there anybody on?
No,
Nope,
Okay, so it's just,
the
Just
three of
three of
us.
just us.
okay,
Isn't
so
it
there's no
so
public
just-
comment. The minutes. These minutes, I was going to, since we just got them now, Jean. Tom was going to send them to me and I was just gonna go through them and, or I don't know, or do you think they're okay? They just need a few changes?
No, I would ask that we table them. I would motion to table them until the next scheduled meeting,
All right,
because there's no attachments to this.
right.
And I think there might be a few little issues in the body of it,
Right,
okay?
and then Tom is going to email it to me so that I can
Yeah,
make the change.
I'll email it to both of you and I'll get the, I'll attach the nurses' reports as well.
Okay, so I made the motion to table them until the next meeting.
I second that motion. All in favor?
Jean Nilsson, aye.
Sue Braska, aye. So, we're going to table. I'm gonna do the minutes for this meeting.
Okay. Do you want me to take notes also, or? Are you comfortable just taking the notes?
I'm comfortable.
Okay,
I mean, you could take some too if you want. We're gonna table the two minutes.
well, if worse comes to worse, you can go through the recording,
Oh, that's right.
okay?
The nurses report you have, Tom, is
Yep.
that electronically?
I believe so.
Okay,
If not, I can scan it.
all right, or I can just attach them.
Yeah,
Just make copies.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, just make copies. I gave, Dee ours. So we make the motion to accept Dee's resignation as of yesterday.
Are you making that motion?
Yes.
Can I add to that motion
Yes, you may.
by saying that this is the final acceptance of her resignation?
Right, yes.
That as the board, I wouldn't consider
Yeah,
bringing her back as a
right,
secretary
that's your third,
in the future.
and it's too bad. It's too
It is, but
bad. Okay, so I second that motion.
yeah, we need to move forward.
Yeah.
We can't keep walking back.
Right.
I'm,
All in favor?
I'm in favor, Jean Nilsson.
I'm in favor too. So, we accepted. And while we were on that, we now do not have a secretary.
Mhm.
So I can do the minutes, but I don't know about any, money coming in or anything like that.
Yeah.
How to handle
Right.
that. Any ideas?
We'll just keep it. Have you contacted, Robin in the select board's office to see if they would put out, or if they have
Do a
put
job
out
posting.
a job
Okay.
posting? And, or you put the job posting, I'm sure you can copy whatever.
Okay,
I don't know how far we can go. Like I really don't want to pay for Indeed again.
right.
No, not.
For a secretary that's 10 hours.
Right,
Maybe we can do some type of newspaper publication
Okay,
and or on channel 15.
Don McKenzie?
No, Andrew, and he joins all the meetings, but nobody knows who he is. So just
Wait,
let him in.
I did,
Oh, oh.
on the top. It's, Diane Gale. Are you letting in?
yeah.
Okay,
let it know.
Yeah,
okay.
so,
So,
so can, and channel 15,
Okay,
Robin, to see, and if we can post it on the, the town website.
okay,
now,
okay.
the secretary, they're under the selectmen's
Yes,
purview,
yes,
so they do the job posting.
yeah. If you as in the health agent type
Mhm.
field, you know, if you know anybody that would be interested, and,
Okay,
you know, even word of mouth
Yeah.
type,
okay,
you know, in the field.
Even a high school, let's see if this is Mackenzie, no.
okay,
Um,
all right. Yeah, I'll talk to Robin tomorrow and get the ball rolling on that.
Okay.
yeah, I can't think of it. I asked somebody, but they're,
No, I asked Jess if she wanted to come back. Our secretary
Oh,
prior
okay,
to,
previous.
yeah,
no. I know she was excellent.
Yeah.
she was, yeah, she
Yeah.
was very, very good. We missed her.
Yeah,
So. Okay, physicians agreement draft.
yes, I have, that's not something I've been working on at all. I know Tom was working on that, I think with you. I didn't want to take it off of the
Yeah.
agenda. I didn't know if there was
So-
any updates.
I did send the revision. Have I sent you a copy?
I don't know if you sent me one. I think I have a copy, a hard copy on my desk though.
Okay, so if you have a hard
Yeah,
copy. So I did send that, but I haven't heard back anything. Usually
Okay.
it takes a little while.
yeah,
But if the position is under Bay State, then they're probably gonna Bay State. We'll have to speak with whoever at
Right.
Bay State, and Bay State probably has their own agreement.
right, okay,
I thought that's what we did for the physician that was under the Bay State when
Yeah, I
Dr.
did.
Cooper
I
Swami was,
I have Bay State's
yeah,
agreement, and I just revised it a little bit more toward the nursing grant and stuff. But I
okay.
haven't heard back, so I could give him I could ask,
Ask
see.
the physician if he
yeah,
just
ask
received
if
it.
he's still interested.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, and there's the resignation there, so I did the resignation. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
it's all right.
Uh-oh. So if I motion to adjourn right now, that's jumping too far ahead?
Yeah, a little bit, a little too far ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Tom.
All right, so, just go through all the stuff I've been working on,
So it's
septic,
been exactly 2 weeks, right?
yeah,
Or almost.
two
Two
weeks
weeks and
and
1 day.
2 weeks and a day, yeah.
Yes.
So, witnessed a couple of perk tests already, 8 Concord Road, the lot, the guy wants to subdivide, so the lot will actually be on Tannery, I think it was 67 Tannery. One perk test passed, the other one didn't, so they're gonna have to go back again and get another perk. 32 Hillside Road is on the corner of Hillside and Coes Hill, that one was the other day and that passed. Did a final inspection for a tank replacement on College Highway. And approved a couple plans, 80 South Long Yard and 32 Noble Steed, they were both pretty standard.
Repairs or new? Both.
Off the top of my head, I think the Long Yard was a repair and Noble Steed was new construction.
Now, you have the septic sign, you have the conservation sign off
Yep,
first.
yep. With 2 Lakemont Street, we had been monitoring it. I talked to Kyle. Kyle sent out another letter, asking the guy kind of what he was doing, if he was fixing it.
The
If he
guy
was-
is
The
homeowner.
owner.
Yeah, the homeowner, Michael Tishy is his name. And I actually drove by today and there was a car in the driveway, so I stopped by. He was sitting in the car. I talked to him. He is living there. He claimed the section where the roof is caving in, he claimed was a porch. It wasn't actual living space. He didn't,
Indoor living space?
it was like an enclosed porch, so it wasn't part of the house. He did tell me that there is water and electricity, however, I'm not 100% sure if that is the case. He also said that he's planning to sell the house. Find some cash buyer, someone who's gonna fix it up or knock it over or whatever. So I got his phone number, so I'm gonna kind of keep in touch with him, and if he is gonna sell it, I kind of think better for us to just let him offload it and kind of let it take care of itself.
It would, in a specific amount of time.
Yeah,
You know, this is something that
right,
6, 8 months down the road, you're going to say, oh, by the way,
right.
so kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I don't want to let this one linger for a long time,
Well,
but
also Kyle sent what, a violation letter,
yeah, yeah, so,
and if he doesn't pick it up, he's certified, right? If he doesn't pick
Yeah.
it up unless he has it delivered.
yeah,
The sheriff delivers them if they don't pick up certified mail.
so. So that one, I'm not gonna pull the trigger on doing a condemnation just yet, but, kind of keep it on the radar. And, see if anything happens between building or if the guy does anything on his own. Food service, the cottages, over that really cold weekend. Right after I started, they had a sprinkler line freeze, leaked a little bit into the kitchen. So it was over the weekend, the fire chief had called me, they stopped using the kitchen even before fire got there. They used food from Tucker's in the meantime, and I went out on the Monday. It was a very small area of the kitchen. They had already cleaned everything up. They just had one light fixture left to replace, and I didn't do a full inspection, but I gave them the green light to reopen. Xantos, they had been closed for a while and they reopened. So I stopped by, and it is new owners. So I gave him a application. That was, I think, 2 days ago, so I haven't got anything back yet,
I
so.
didn't realize that they closed. Huh.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I had to look it up on Facebook, but I think in like November, they did a post that they were, taking a break, and
Didn't come back.
they didn't come back, so.
So new owners, okay.
Yeah, so new owners, but they didn't get an application, so, so hopefully he'll get that in sooner than later. If not, then we'll have to,
Revisit
yep,
the restaurant.
yep,
And now they are open for business
they are
now.
open, yep.
You did do an inspection?
I didn't do it, and I just stopped in, and I figure once they get the application, and I'll do a full inspection then.
And that's another thing that's not going to wait weeks.
Right,
It's
right.
going to be
yeah,
very short.
yeah, if it's not tomorrow, I'll be there on Monday.
Good.
Delinquent food permits, Red's Cafe. I've had so much meetings and other stuff going on. I've been trying to get out to go to all these places, and I didn't make it until today. But Red's they had a sign up that they were closed, for daughter's surgery. So I looked them up on Facebook too. It's been a few months, since early January, they've been closed. But they did say they're gonna reopen on the 23rd. So I will, if I can't get in touch with them before that, I will, I just wanna see, that's a week from today.
No, okay, so they have not, paid for their permits.
Not, yeah, didn't submit an application or pay or anything, so, because they've been closed, I wanted to ask you guys if you think the fines apply. Or,
I would say no. They've
No.
been closed and
Right.
for
'cause
surgery.
they haven't been operating, okay,
Yes.
all right, so I'll try to get in touch with them and, just have them do the application and no fines
No fines, provided they pay for their permits.
before they reopen,
they open.
right,
Okay.
right.
So the same with Xantos. Had Xantos, even though they were changing ownership, did they do
I don't
permits?
think so.
Let me look. I don't even see Xantos on the renewal list. Yeah, they didn't even make it onto the renewal list, so I don't know if a renewal was even sent to them. Maybe they were already closed when they
Closed
sent out
before they-
renewals.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be, they won't be fined either since it's.
No, because it's new and new owners and et cetera, yeah.
But provided they
Pay before they open.
do it soon, because they've already opened.
All
and
right, right.
So what day did you see him?
I want to say it was Tuesday. that I
And
stopped
how
by.
long have they been open?
I think they had just opened either the weekend before or the Monday.
Okay, so,
Tom had heard it somewhere. He texted me about it, so I stopped by after I heard from him.
So I would say maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah.
You got his contact information
Yes, yeah,
to say to have it in by Monday.
right,
right.
or the fines will start.
Will start.
Okay. The patisseria, I stopped by there today. They had paid their fine, but they had not turned in an application. So I stopped by today and the owner was there. She was very nice and she was like, oh my God, and she's digging through her purse. She had it all filled out in an envelope in her purse. And she said she was waiting to get the ServSafe information from her son. So she gave me the application and check, and I gave her my email. So I said, as soon as you get the ServSafe, send that to me.
Okay, good.
Gristmill, they turned in their application like on the 27th of January. They paid their fee, or they paid the permit fee, but they didn't pay a fine. So I stopped in, the owner wasn't there, called today, went to voicemail, his voicemail box was full, so I found his email, sent him an email. So, and then lastly, Tastefully Tan. Their D had the permit on hold because they only paid 50. And it looks like that application didn't have the fee on it for the permit. And it looks like we changed the permit fee from 50 to 100 a couple of years ago. And I looked back at Sundance and Tastefully Tan, and like 1 year, one of them paid 50 and the other one paid 100 and no one caught it. And the next year it switched and one of them paid 50 and the other one. So I was thinking of just issuing the permit. And next year we'll make sure both are paying 100. And make sure moving forward, it's clear what the permit fee is.
Good decision.
Yeah, she had mentioned that one to me. Okay.
I think part of it, I think Tammy had a form where on the printout permit, it said the fee was 100. And then I think Tom, when he came back, he might have used one he had in his files that still said 50.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to punish them for our error. So, I started revising, we'll get to that in a second. I started revising some of the applications and that was part of it. So, the public health nursing grant, I think in all these applications, there's a lot of stuff in here, so I apologize. But I should have given you this sheet. This is the quarterly form that we have to fill out for the grant. Alex had submitted this in January for I guess that's the second quarter. So on the left here, I circled some of the categories. There's, I noticed an issue with inspection supplies, the agency administrative support and training and credentialing. So inspection supplies is meant to be like thermometers, like actual inspection supplies. So I don't know why that's funded in our grant, because this is mainly a nursing grant. And I think if we did buy anything that was an inspection, like if, say we wanted to get some shared inspection equipment that all 6 towns could use, we'd have to make sure it was available to all 6 towns.
See, now Alex said, like that would be like office supplies too.
No,
No,
office supplies, I got a sheet, I met with the grant people,
Okay.
and they gave me a sheet it summarized all the categories of
Okay.
what the spending is. So office supplies would be in agency administrative support, which has a lot of money in it. I think the intent of that is that money is it goes to Southwick. So any office supplies or things like that, it doesn't have to be shared between the communities. That's kind of what we get for being the ones that are administering the grant and being the lead agency on it. So I think I have another meeting with the state tomorrow, so gonna get a little more clarity on that. But I think even if if Laura needed something in accounting for, doing whatever she has to do for managing our budget and everything for the grant, if she needed something for that, it could be used. I don't think it would, but if she needed that paper, I don't know. Or if we needed anything for our office, we could use it. So.
This is year to date, right?
Yeah. So I don't know what the state will say. That 635 that was spent in inspection supplies was office supplies. So I don't know if we can retroactively change that. And also there's no funding for training and credentialing. And there's a conference up in May that the nurses are planning to go to. So I was thinking possibly we could take that money from inspection supplies and move it into training, credentialing, and then that would cover their conference.
How much is the conference?
Couple $100, I think.
So this is why I think Alex had different, and Tammy made different line items
Yeah,
to make it easier.
right,
And then Alex changed it back to what the state,
right.
Right,
so,
Well, the ones that Alex had didn't match what the state had. And it also didn't match what accounting had.
okay, but then didn't he change it at the end to match?
I don't
Okay,
know, or he thinks he did, but that it was clear as day, and the inspection supplies is like thermometers, flashlights,
then what
like,
nursing supplies?
I think that would be, Band-Aids, syringes, like things like that. I can forward you that, the expenditures if you're curious.
Yeah,
It has all the
How about-
categories.
for Trish
I already gave it to them, yeah. So I'll talk to this, I have a meeting with the state again tomorrow, and I think they'll hopefully be able to give me some
all right, so can
clarity.
we take this money out of the agency administration support and put it into training credentialing?
Yeah,
We can move money around, right?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think
so
so.
therefore that would cover them going to their training.
Right,
Yeah,
right, yeah. So, yeah, I'll figure that out tomorrow with the state. And then hopefully get a little more clarity of what money we could use for whatever. I think that the agency administrative support we could do anything. I think there's a lot less limitations on it, so we could use it for something that would just benefit our department. That's not necessarily, directly related to the
so
grant.
that's money in addition to their salaries, in addition to the service coordinator,
Yep,
in addition to
Yep.
number 2, other direct, that's just extra money.
yep.
That's not used for their benefits or anything like that?
Yeah, it's like a 15% of the whole grant is the agency administrative support, and the intent of that is to support us for taking on the role of
So-
managing the
So
grant.
therefore, is that something that they use down in accounting to pay for vacations and,
That's what I'm not sure. No money's been spent out of that, so I'll get some more clarity from the state on that.
yeah. Cause if it's gonna be used for whatever, pay raises, how's that gonna work come next year? They'll probably do
Right.
the cost of living raise, right?
Right,
And-
yeah.
will they include a cost of living raise in the grant though?
I think so. When I met with them last week, they said that we are technically approved. I want to say it was for a total of 300,000. So I think we could get more money, that we could add to the grant. So that could cover raises or whatever we need to.
Have you seen, how accounting submits the budgets? Their monthly reports and how they break down everything?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, so do you think it would be easier if this and accounting had the same
Mhm.
verbiage, the same everything?
yeah, yeah. I
And
think
that way,
I talked to Laura about it a few times and I think that's what she tried to do. But I don't think she was provided with the right information at the time. So then it got messed up. So I told her that I was gonna meet with the state and then once we revise our budget, I gave her that expenditure list too, so she knows what goes in what category. And then once we revise it, I'll ask her to update it in the accounting system. And then hopefully moving forward, it will be simple and,
so they'll mirror each other.
yeah, hopefully
Okay,
And we'll be able to get it.
get an exact amount of what we
Yes.
spent.
Yeah,
right,
every couple of weeks. like
Right.
They do now.
right. And then if you're expending, something that you think is a health communication,
Right,
you know what bracket to put it in,
right,
so it comes in here and there,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. So that's
Okay,
a,
so
that's a
that'll
work in
work.
progress, but I think we're heading in the right direction.
So if we did get a position, then we'd probably do it under health communication,
That I'm not sure, to be honest.
because we have to see what's under health communication.
Right, right.
How
Or
much would
agency
they,
administrative,
how much would they charge?
maybe nothing,
Okay,
but in the past, it was always $300.
yeah, but it would be under
It would come out of.
a
the grant.
minimal amount.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
come out of
Yeah.
yeah, it would come out of
the grant.
one of these categories.
Yeah,
Okay, so we just need to
Okay.
know if we can take some money, put it into their training, credentialing, and exactly what is that agency administrative support
right.
line item.
Okay. Tri-Town nursing grant, I don't have any materials for that, but I did talk to Jean Galloway. She said that they are planning to continue it. She wanted to know if there was anything we wanted to add to it or change. And I think at that point when I talked to her, I'd only been here for like 5 days. So I told her, because we had talked about it at the last board meeting, I said, I think everybody likes it. I think at the very least, we want to keep it as is if it can be continued.
That's contact.
That's the,
tracing,
yeah, the
That Mary.
West Springfield, us and
Well,
Agawam, I think, that Mary Thomas does. So hopefully that will get continued. And she said there is some, she was gonna let me know what we could spend money on, but there's some extra money for Southwick. So I think between the two grants, I think we have a problem of so much money and I don't think we'll ever be able to come up with enough ways to spend it all. So,
so the Tri-Town nursing grant, is it only for contact tracing? That's it?
yes,
Can't be used for anything else?
yeah, it might even be just COVID contact tracing,
Because there's nothing,
right? But it's so,
Yeah, but all the variants of COVID.
right. So,
that's if they report it.
Right.
yeah, if they get a PCR test. So that one, if she did, I know the nurses were looking, one of them wanted to get a printer. And Jean did say computers were an acceptable expense, so I might see if we can do the printer for Chris through that.
I rather have, my thought is the color printer, a good one in the office,
Yeah,
so that both can use it.
yes, yeah, we have the one in my office. I don't know if either you, I know you guys went in there, I don't know if you looked at my office, but I rearranged a little bit.
Let's see.
So
I can't get in, you never hear when I'm here.
I never locked the door. So I moved the printer, so it's a little more accessible. And Jim's been working on it. So that it will be work wirelessly, so that they can use it.
And
I
it's
can-
color.
And it's color, yeah.
Yeah, but it prints like one page every 4 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a little slow, but they just need the color for when they're making posters and stuff, so they're not like
Right,
printing a ton of stuff in color, but it's nice to have, so.
yeah.
So if we did get a better color printer, where would we put it?
Somewhere where it's accessible to everybody.
Right,
And that nurse's office certainly
No.
doesn't have any
No.
room.
No.
no. Yeah,
And the
so,
problem with that is if you do get a nice machine,
mhm,
everybody and their brother's gonna come in and use it.
right,
So,
yeah,
you might want to think about maybe upgrading the machine you have
right,
to be, a little bit larger, and have more capacity,
right,
and just kind of leave it at
yeah.
Can
the way
they,
you have
I
it.
think that one, the one that's in my office, I think is pretty new. If Jim can get it to work wirelessly, we might not need one, to be honest.
Mm.
So, but I'll keep an eye on that once, cause my laptop, was getting replaced or something, so Jim's working on that as well. But I have an old computer, which is so slow. It sometimes takes like 5 minutes to open a Word file. But it's old enough that it doesn't have Wi-Fi. So I can't test out hooking up my computer to that printer wirelessly because the computer's so old. So,
Now, didn't Tammy have a tablet that the town provided? What happened to that?
there's an iPad, that I have that was left here, which is from HCHC. And I was told there was another tablet that was something to do with a demo for food inspection software, but I haven't seen it anywhere, so,
so for you to get an updated computer, does that come out of, is that like what budget does that
The
come out of?
town, the select board. That's the equipment, the Board of Health.
yeah, I think Jim
No,
said it was under warranty, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they even have to pay for it. I think it might just be.
If it's that old, it's still under warranty?
No, that's a older so there was a laptop that I think was new when Tammy was here. But I think the battery died or something.
So who's working on that?
So Jim, yeah, so they took that away and it's getting replaced under warranty. In the meantime, they took an ancient computer from somewhere in the building and that's what I have for now. But I think Jim said he did something with ordering the computer. I don't know what the process is for it, but he did something today.
Okay,
so-
so hopefully you'll get some.
So that will be soon, and then I can make sure that printer works once I have a computer with Wi-Fi. And we'll see if we even need to get another printer.
He just updated my Word to 2013.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Hmm, yeah,
Okay,
now my Word's only 10 years
Yeah.
behind.
it's like when Massachusetts in 2018 put us up from the 1999 to the 2013 food code.
Well, your computer that takes 5 minutes to open an Excel document
Mhm.
is a lot faster than mine.
Oh, really? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So that's the Tri-Town Nursing Grant, so hopefully it will be continuing, but like Tom said, it's directly COVID, so, if the emergency ends, maybe something will change with that. But we will see. The proposed spray park.
Oh, let's stop a second.
Yep.
So, the money for our nursing grant, if we don't use it, what we don't use gets returned, correct?
To the
At
state.
I believe so, yes.
the end of the year,
Yeah.
okay.
So the town has really no jurisdiction over that money.
Right. Right.
So. Tricia has a little color printer in her office, right?
Yep,
She said that doesn't, and you have one there.
yep.
So I don't know, do we want to get a color copier specifically for one of the nurses to have at home? And then make sure we get it back at the end of,
I don't know, let Tom work on, you know, what he thinks would be viable for the office.
Right,
And then if nothing else, if you can get something, then you can give her your old one
right.
as excess equipment type of something.
now,
Okay,
if that's gonna be hooked up to Wi-Fi, if for Tricia from her office, her laptop,
Mm.
will Chris from home and her laptop be able to print stuff on there from her?
That I'm not sure. She might be able to, but she's been in at least once a week into the office here, even when she's at others, so. As long as with a little bit of planning, I think she'd be fine to just print here.
Cause I know when I was hooked up to Noble and I had to go for a seminar out in Indianapolis, I could
Right,
there print to
yeah,
the
Yeah.
printer at Noble.
yeah,
yeah. I think she probably could,
yeah, but she's gotta come in and pick it up anyways.
right?
Right,
So
yeah, but
what's
it just-
the, you know,
Right.
big deal,
But it
putting it
just
on
save-
the,
We just save
thumb
time if
drive.
it's gonna be a slow
Right.
printer.
Right.
well, it's not
Yeah.
that slow.
Well,
I was exaggerating about
Okay.
4 minute per page thing. Okay?
okay,
So the spray park, I talked to Cindy and Randy last week.
Cindy
Cindy
Sullivan,
Sullivan in,
Randy Brown.
yep, yep. Oh yeah, there's multiple,
Yeah.
both of those. And they kind of had just found, I guess the Park and Rec Board had just voted on it like a few days prior, so they had just found out about it. They didn't have any further knowledge of it.
they voted, what did they vote on?
I think they were gonna use,
APC funds.
yep, and so then, this week or the end of last week, a bunch of emails went around with Carl and some other people, so they're gonna, we were gonna have a meeting tomorrow with Levesque is the consultant they're using to design the spray park. And that got postponed. But I looked into the proposed code for the new pool regs, which could change. This draft came out in 2017 and they haven't done anything with it yet. They have been putting at that division of DPH has been updating a lot of regs recently, so I don't know if that one is next on the chopping block. It could be this year, or it could be in another 10 years before they change it. So in the draft, it did say that the type of spray park that they're planning, which is you take tap water from the town, spray it, and it goes in the drain into the ground, is exempt from being licensed and exempt from those regulations by the Board of Health. There are other spray parks where the water recirculates and they treat it like a pool. That's when they would need to follow the regulations. They would need a license from us and we would need to inspect their chlorinators or filters or
So even if
whatever.
it's chlorinated water,
Well, that with the discharge of the water, that would be through, because it's gonna be like 22,000 gallons a day or something like that at peak use. So that would not be under Title V, that would be under DEP. So I'm gonna keep, I was included in the meeting tomorrow. That is gonna, I don't know when it's gonna be now. So I'll keep an eye on it and make sure nothing changes. But at least of what everyone thinks is gonna happen right now, we don't need to have a role in it.
okay, so the proposal is the water's gonna spray and then just dissipate.
Go into
Evaporate.
a drain and then go into the ground.
Not into a sewer system, into the ground.
Yeah, it's, but I think the state, they would need a groundwater discharge permit from the state. So it would probably be something similar to like what a septic system looks like, but it would be
Okay, so.
something else.
So the fact that this is chlorinated water and there's gonna be so much of it,
Mhm. Yeah, I think Randy Brown said he was looking into that, and I think they would probably need to dechlorinate it before it goes into the ground. But that, like I said, that's all regulated by DEP, so.
so DEP has the,
Yeah,
Final.
they have the final say, they permit it, I don't know if I'm assuming they inspect it as well. So,
But just say, for example, it's constructed in operation in 2023,
mhm,
and these new regs come out in 2026.
right.
Is it essentially is grandfathered?
Well, unless they change it to a system that recirculates, then they're exempt from, as of the draft right now, the proposed system would be exempt from the regs. Because I think the regs really care, for the spray parks at least, they care about if they don't want to be spraying dirty water on the kids. But if it's coming from the tap, then it's clean, so.
so it's just a matter of discharge and where it's going. And that's a lot of water. and-
Right. So I'll keep an
Okay.
eye on it to see if anything
So how many
changes.
gallons did they say
I'm
at peak time?
pretty sure he said up to 22,000 gallons a day.
Which is fine
2,000.
because of the cost of the park is going to be provided by CPC funds. Who's gonna pay for that yearly water usage,
Right.
you know?
But also, what was 22,000 gallons? How many gallons was Carvana gonna use? My God, that's a lot.
Well, 10,
Uh,
yeah, it is, it's,
And
but,
then what do they do during? the
With droughts.
Right,
you know, we get constantly shut down.
right.
So,
All right, so the
So
applications,
who, therefore, who would make the final decision on this? Would this be something the town has to vote on?
the CPC voted on funding the park. But it still can get kicked out
Don't we have to vote?
at town
at town
meeting, I
meeting
think.
To let CPC money be used and then, yeah, and then who's gonna pay for that every year?
Right. So I think I'm not
They got a
sure.
lot to work out,
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, yeah.
yeah, they're in like
the beginning.
very,
Yeah.
very early stages, so. So the next is the revised Board of Health applications. We talked about this at the last one. I have them in order. All the highlighted ones, I have them in order of how they are on the fee schedule. For the most part, I just took out the year. On the temporary food, the fees don't match our fee schedule. They have a single day is 25, multi-day is 75.
Yeah,
And
I would like the year and the fees taken off.
Mm-hmm.
I think I took the year off of everything. I think we should keep the fees on.
No, because we'll put the fee up here.
Oh, okay,
We'll have a place up here that says fee amount paid or the fee is, and then we write it in.
okay. What about for this one where well, in our fee schedule, you have a seasonal food permit, which would be like a farmer's market, is $100, and the temporary 1 to 5 days is 25. So this one has for the the temporary. So depending on what you're doing, there's possibly 2 different fees.
Right, but this here needs to match
Right,
that.
right.
So this wording has to be,
Yes, yeah, that's,
Change.
that I want to change to match this.
We had a problem. You don't know Doug. Doug
I've-
Moglen.
we've,
Met in the town clerk's office last Friday.
Oh,
yeah,
you did.
yeah,
Doug Moglen's is a select.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and Tom is a new.
I was here for his interview actually also,
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
for a part of it.
Oh. Okay, is there something we can do for you?
I have a meeting at 7 o'clock, but I figured I'd stop in and say hello. I didn't mean to interrupt your meeting.
No, not at
Oh.
all,
No,
not at all.
no, I'm impressed with him so far, huh?
Is Tom all
Should we
set for the
tell him?
password and everything, getting into the,
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
Zoom, yeah,
That's his Zoom.
Yeah.
he's all set, okay
Yeah.
with that, that would be the main thing,
I
yeah.
know we had some kind of problem with the microphone and the owl, and we had a couple meetings that didn't record correctly. and-
This, we have one that I know didn't
Yeah.
record correctly, but, okay, so.
Okay,
Do you
so
think,
you're welcome to come on up and
have
have a look if you want.
so. What do you want to change, make some changes on this then,
Yeah.
obviously? if it
Yeah,
doesn't
so
match
the-
up?
Should.
the temporary food, I definitely need to change, so it has just the 25 and 100. I don't know where this one came, this is the one that's actually on our website, so I don't
Yeah.
know where that came from.
Well, may I suggest that
Yeah.
you pulled everything down off of the website?
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Until they get revised, because this,
Just,
you know,
did Jim, he didn't take off the old,
the one that says Chicopee, City of
no, no, no,
Chicopee.
no.
Yeah.
The
That
main
was-
page where has the tabs, right, the regulations, did he take that off yet?
I don't know. I don't know. Look at the town website and go under the Board of Health and see what those.
We spin it. Just a minute. Cause you know, you had the Board of Health current and then,
Board of Health regulations, current updates, and from town code book.
I just. I don't understand why he just
Should
doesn't take out that from town code book until,
Right,
Get chapter question mark, food permits and reinspection.
cause he didn't give it a chapter number. That one is the current, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Current
Just to
update,
me, just leave that there,
and
get rid of the other one.
then this is the,
But he won't do it.
Why do these have chapters and that doesn't have chapter?
Because I gave him new ones to put on.
Where does this chapter number come
It's in the
from?
town code book.
That's the.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
That's the town code book direct. So those are your adopted, I know you guys had a hearing a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. I don't know what you,
Yeah, we
Adopted
did
or
the
changed.
body art and
Disposal.
disposal, yeah.
Mhm.
So we did do them.
did you submit them to
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
clerk to
Oh, yeah.
update the E code and all that?
To DEP,
So it takes a little while for
Yeah.
them to
yeah,
Okay,
plug through.
right.
and we.
yeah, on the town code book amended in its entirety 1998.
Oh.
So- So this one he hasn't got to, so I think that's why he has the 2 tabs for now.
Well,
But in the current ones, he does have the town code book numbers for the ones that he has numbers for.
Right. And is this our new one?
Yep,
Yep,
Yeah.
okay. That's good at least.
So, well, we're talking about, okay, these regulations, all this stuff here. We at one time had massage regulations, remember? And then I
Yep.
think the month later, the state
the
came out
state
with
took
them.
them
Yeah.
over, yeah.
And those were on there, but they were never submitted to DEP.
Oh, okay,
Now, I don't know, do we need to,
DEP for massage?
no.
No.
What is that, the registry you
No.
send them to?
yeah, no, it's weird, actually, any regulation of Board of Health, even if it's not environmental related, DEP maintains the state register for all local Board of Health
Okay.
regulations.
Good to
I
know.
didn't know
So,
that.
Yeah,
That's great to know.
yeah. So it's a lot of towns don't bother to send them because I was even at a conference in the fall. And there was a guy from DEP that was speaking. I can't remember his name. But he said that when they get those regulations from the town, they don't review or approve them. They go, oh, neat, and stick it in a file. That's all they do with them. They don't. So but technically it is the proper way is to send it to them. So,
And I think we have a few that have not been sent to them and that will have to do that.
yeah, one of the times before I started, when I had came and met with Alex, he had showed me the receipt from submitting it. I haven't seen that in the office since
They're in the
I've,
Board of Health.
oh,
It's the
okay.
Board of Health regulation.
Oh, in that book.
notebook,
Okay,
And it
perfect.
has a list of the ones that are there. And I think it has like our tobacco revisions. I wish they would just have the most recent.
Mm.
But there's a couple that we have to submit. So I'm still confused why that is just not taken out, the old
Well-
is not taken off.
Oh, I don't know.
Cause
I
the
know the
new
code-
one,
the
cause the new
code-
one does have the codes,
Right. But the
Right.
except
code
for the
book-
ones that are new.
Unfortunately, I think the one overarching code book is a separate link on the website, right? So if you go to the homepage for the town of Southwick and you go to town documents and the town
Oh,
code
okay.
book, I mean, that's where I go when I look up any rule or regulation or
And
law.
when you look up some of those regulations on our site, they go into the code book.
Yeah.
The next one.
Oh,
is
so
the
it's-
next
Right,
one
right,
is-
right. See, it's the same thing,
Right.
Yeah,
right? But if those are supplanted, that's the right word? Supplanted? What? The sooner they update E-code 360, the better, because that's where people go.
Right.
If you don't know that it's a Board of Health regulation, you're just looking for any regulation, you can get
Right.
zoning, select board, anything in
Everything
town
there,
is there.
Right.
But Michelle did update the members and that whole, like homepage.
Hmm.
And we're getting there. We just
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah,
do these applications now.
Yeah. So,
So
okay.
I'm not sure yet if you just want to ask Jim to remove all the applications, all that.
Okay.
And
I
then
would
start
think-
fresh, cause it'd be too
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
because like Tom has here, these fees don't match
Those don't
this.
match the fee
And it doesn't
schedule.
even really match what we have. Seasonal food permit less than 6 months.
Right.
It's not here.
Right.
So this needs
That-
to be that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Sue, what do you
Oh,
think of that?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
they gotta be.
He last revised it January 31st
of what you,
this year,
oh, yeah.
to be clear.
Okay,
So,
I gave Jim a bunch of stuff, John.
on the regular food service application, there's this section down here. I changed it on the copy you have, but it said renewal applications received after November 30th will be considered late. Any facility that has not submitted a renewal application by December 31st will be considered without a permit. And I looked in our regulation and there was nothing about November 30th and being late. So I just took the exact wording from our regulation and it said, in the case of delinquent payment for a food establishment permit renewal within 7 days of January 1st, the $50
Yeah.
per week. So that way it's right on the permit, exactly what the fee should be. So I figured that makes more sense
So I
than,
guess we do need to keep the fees on them, huh?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, for some of them.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
if your date is a concern, put it in your regulation.
right.
And
Yeah,
everybody's on the same page, because if you just put it on the form, it doesn't maybe,
no, the regulation specifies that if you
Yeah.
don't have your food permit within 7 days, then you're going to be fined $50 a
a
week
week, yeah,
for the first 3 weeks, and then after that, it's $50 a day.
right,
So those dates
Okay, I misunderstood
Hardwired
Oh,
what
okay.
you said. I
Yeah.
thought you said it wasn't clear to you. You said there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
November date and you're like,
Right.
well,
on the form.
Yeah, on
right,
the,
but that's not in the regulation.
Right.
It should be in the regulation.
right. Well, I'm just gonna take it off the form because it
Yeah.
doesn't
Form
make
is
sense.
wrong. The
Right.
regulations are right.
Oh,
Form
okay.
is
Yeah.
Oh, that's even,
Yeah.
okay, that
Okay,
makes
so,
more.
within a 7-day period beginning January 1st, that's the one we're looking at,
Yeah,
of each calendar year. Okay.
yeah.
What kind of meeting you
And
have?
does it say anything about
Master packet.
when they should pay it by
Do you have
January
coffee to
1st?
keep you awake?
I
Yeah,
just had
Must be
3 cups of
received
tea
before
I came
January
here.
1st. Must be received before January 1st of the next calendar
I
year,
picked up,
and then
kids
there'll
at the
be
end of your
penalties.
cul-de-sac.
yeah.
I finally
Okay.
got to see it
All right,
So
You come on my street.
at the very end.
So I put that on the new form. The mobile food, all I did was take off the year. I think everything else was good on that one. Body art, that was the one that had the Chicopee snafu.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
we had City of Chicopee on the body.
So I changed it from Chicopee and took off the year. This one also has that whole renewal application line. However, there's nothing in our body art applications about a late fee for a body art permit. That's specific to food that we have the late fee. So I was gonna just take out that whole line of, being considered late and the late fee.
Hmm,
Right.
Because I couldn't find a late fee for body art anywhere, so.
okay.
You want to hear a funny story?
I don't want to hear the family.
It's related to your Chicopee thing.
Oh,
So it's not egregious. A few years ago, maybe the statute of limitations run out 20 years ago. Woodland Ridge subdivision off of South Lawn Yard. When they submitted the open space easements and we deeded the land to the city of Agawam.
oh, really?
Because the lawyer never changed Agawam to Southwick in the template he took it from, and it got recorded.
Wow,
So now did Agawam give us back?
We had to go and re-record it, so mistakes happen.
Yep.
Yes, they do. Well, at least they gave us back the land.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a
Doug.
great evening.
Yeah.
You too.
okay.
Haulers was just the year.
hey, when we go back to the body art,
There is no fines.
no, but body art, we have, it should be on there. A temporary, not a temporary, I'm looking for something. Cause this wasn't our original body art.
Okay,
Um.
oh, and the fees were wrong on the body art too.
Okay, cause the body
They were
art,
probably Chicopee's fees.
we have, for the establishment for a practitioner, we have for an apprentice. We have for
Okay.
a temporary, person.
Mm,
Okay, so I should add
temporary
that.
Apprentice.
That's for the new change to the reg.
right.
So I should
But-
go
Look at
back to the
new
drawing
reg.
board and
But the
add that.
regs- But the regs don't have the fees in the regs. It just
Okay.
says an annual fee will be,
Determined by the fee schedule.
yeah,
Okay,
there'll be an annual fee. We didn't put the fees in the regs.
okay. So establishment, I'll look at the regs, but establishment should be the same. Would you prefer,
So establishment's 100, practitioner's 100.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you want to do for, apprentice or a temporary.
yeah, so for the body art, I'll come up with change up the application so we can have a checkbox for temporary or for apprentice. I'll see what other towns do for their fees for those. I think apprentice might as well be the same as a full practitioner. But temporary, if they're here for a weekend event,
Yeah,
although I know they do like a big tattoo event at the Big E. I don't know if something like that will ever come to Southwick, but
yeah.
we might as well have it in our regs if it ever does.
So you have to see what, the regs say for the different,
Yeah, yeah. I guess sometimes the shops, like I know in Westfield, they would have like a guest, like he would, someone from Boston or something was coming to do, he knew these people and wanted to work out of their shop for a week or something like that. So I guess that would be a temporary as well. So that one I'll go back to the drawing board.
let's see, an application for fit, body art, apprentice, oh, a trainer,
Okay,
but I don't know about temporary. A trainer would probably be the practitioner. Yeah, probably the
Yeah.
practitioner.
yeah. Okay. I'll go back to that one. Haulers was simple change, just the,
And I think what we had
She
had
never
when
goes-
we
she
did
never
these
finishes.
regulations, we had a separate permit for each of the categories, but if we don't have to have a separate permit, that's even better.
right, right. So haulers was nothing major to change.
You know what I don't like on this, though? All these permits have like the different fonts and stuff like, this town of Southwick Board of Health. Why is it in that, you know,
Right,
and even though it's not important, it's not going to change anything,
right.
but to me,
All the
it's,
same.
it should be,
Yeah, all look the same.
All the same
Yeah.
size, all the
Okay.
same.
yeah, so just
Okay,
change the font on that,
Yeah.
just to make it. Now, do you actually still have a fax machine that works in
I
there?
think so.
Okay, check that out
Yeah.
too, though, Tom, please.
Yeah, I will.
Not that anybody faxes anything. in.
Right. I think that the nurse, they must, because the nurses probably get faxes, because if they get any reports from like doctors or anything for any communicable stuff, you can't email it, because it's not a secure, fax is considered secure per HIPAA, but unless we have like a secure email server, which I don't, Westfield didn't, I don't know if we do, but
And even if you
Uh-huh.
fax, you're supposed to supposedly call to make sure that they got the fax, even though it has
Oh,
a
right.
disclaimer on it,
right.
but people don't do that.
Right, I always thought that was weird, that faxes are more secure, when it, usually someone sends a fax and it's, no one has a fax at home, so they're faxing your medical records to your office where you work, and there's 30 people in there that could pick it
Yeah,
up,
doesn't make sense.
so it's like, that's more secure than email, and whatever.
Okay, that was the haulers.
That was haulers, pool, I think was just the year that I took off, that stayed the same. The campground license, this license is not on the website. I know we only have 2, and I would imagine we didn't have any in Westfield, but I would imagine that's not something that's gonna probably change. I don't think we'll get a new campground. So would you like to put this on the website, or just send them the letter and not put it on the website? Because we only have the 2, and just send them this letter every year.
Put all our stuff. up
Put it on the
Yeah.
Put all
website.
the
Okay,
rates. I mean, all the, whatever you need to, like this deer licensee, why is that,
right.
and
It looks like handwritten cursive. It's a nice
Yeah.
touch.
Yeah.
What's, if you go to first, second grader stuff, that's all you have to do is write things in cursive, and they won't have a clue of what you're writing
Yeah.
about.
They'll learn it.
It's like a secret language
Yeah.
adults over the age of 20
Yeah,
have. So, I don't know about this, though. Your remittance in order to receive your 2023 license and permits. Remittance. Because then you have to change that 2023 and look at
You can take
Right.
the
on or
dates out.
before December 31st,
right.
So if you can kind of figure out a way to eliminate the
To make-
dates too.
Well,
Okay.
you can just take the year off to say December 31st.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah,
And get rid of the, get rid of the
Right.
20.
right. So that way, if you,
Honest, I think as I noticed on the haulers one as well, that it says, if approved, permit will be effective from January 1. So I think what maybe I will do is so on all the forms next to date, that we can do permit year, and that can be something they have to fill out. I'm applying for a permit for 2023.
right,
Next year, they put in 2024.
well, the permit numbers are the year.
Oh, true. true.
So
Right.
you have that as a record.
Right, okay,
Okay,
yeah,
because
How do
I
they do
just
the
made up that hauler's permit number 2023 and made up a number.
Yeah.
I gave 42, it looked like something like a nice.
What do you go, 2023-1-2-3?
yeah,
Essentially. As long as you have on the year on there, you can put any number you want behind it.
right.
So,
Let's go in order.
yeah. But I didn't know what D did or
Do we know?
whoever, so I just made up a number.
Yeah,
Okay,
Cause I couldn't see from the other haulers' permits. How she even came about creating those numbers. There was nothing sequential, there was,
mm,
to me, no sense of a numerical follow,
right,
so I just made up one.
right.
Okay,
Recreational camps, just took off the year. And then it put in click to enter text, which I didn't think would print out, but it did, so I'll have to go back and fix that. But I don't think anything else needs to be changed, and this is really straight, this is exactly the state form that they use. And
Oh, okay.
we just put our heading on it,
for recreational camps?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
yeah,
so these are interactive.
yes.
Are there any other state forms that we can use?
I don't think so, I can look. But I think that would be there are state forms for like perks and septic systems and stuff. But I think we've got a good system with the forms that we use.
What about our rendering?
I couldn't find
And
that
funeral
one.
Director,
I couldn't find those ones in the share, so I can come back to those ones as we go.
and the septic haulers.
Yeah,
Oh, are those under Title V
they,
disposal?
yeah, they might be. Septic haulers on here. And for rendering's not on here, rendering's not anywhere. So find out where that is and get that on the website.
Rendering. Septic haulers and funeral. Funeral,
Yeah.
that must be a state one. I mean, what does Westville have? You can copy Westfield, right?
Yeah, I think we have a form in here, that's another thing I have to get Jim to set me up with being able to see all of Tom, Tammy and Alex's old files. Because I have Tom's login, so there's one thing I couldn't find and it was on his desktop. So I logged in on his and was able to get it. But I think Jim said he can get me, so I don't have to log into that account. But I know funeral director is here. So yeah, we have a letter for funeral director that looks just like the hauler license with
Oh.
the same deer licensee.
And wells, you should have a well construction and a well deconstruction.
Yep. Whoa,
Revised funeral director, did you see the footer on this?
no,
It was revised 7/25/02.
okay,
Okay,
permit,
so it has this again,
yeah,
which is annoying.
yeah. All right. And then tanning, that one, all I changed was the application, I didn't even catch that, application still says $50.
I'm gonna take that off.
So I will correct that.
So I can see, and then the tobacco, take it off of that too.
The application fee,
Mhm.
okay,
I can see for the food, okay, yes, because there's different categories,
right,
right, for the temporary and for the regular There's different categories, so you need it on there. But I think everything else doesn't need it.
Well, I personally, I like having the application, the amount on there. Cause we don't change our fee schedule often, do we?
We did
We
it
didn't-
once in 25 years, I think.
No, 2020. Oh, yeah.
That was the last time we did it,
Yeah.
but prior to that, it was 20
Yeah,
years.
cause if we don't have it on the application, I can just see a million phone calls. Oh, I got my permit renewal. How much do I owe this year? How?
All right.
People sending in the wrong amount and then we gotta chase them down and, but I wouldn't be opposed to making it more consistent where it is. Like some of them have it on like the footer, it says what the fee is. Some of it have it in the body. So I think maybe what I'll do is on all of them, unless it's like based on the check boxes affect the fee. If it's, no matter what, tobacco is gonna be 150, I'll put it in the
They're
footer.
all in the same place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Same font, same
yeah,
size, yeah,
Yep.
size font.
Yeah.
type, And in one place and
okay.
kind of like basic, yeah.
So that's where I am with that
Now,
and,
we have a regulation which is way, way back. Bob Battistoni. I don't know what I did with it. I might have put it in the regulation book. It's an old one. It was like the first tobacco reg we had based on you couldn't smoke like on school
you
grounds.
can't smoke 50 feet next to a public building. And they
Yeah.
put up an ashtray in the corner over there, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, like, I don't know, whatever happened. I see, I didn't go to DEP. So, and it's not on the site, so I guess it's not in effect.
yeah, we just have smoking and membership.
Yeah, we did that one. I might have it in the old regulation book there, in the regulation book, put with all the old stuff.
Mhm.
I'll have to read it to see what it says.
we probably never officiated it.
It was back with Bob Battistoni
I remember Bob, yeah.
and maybe Irene. I don't think I was on the board for, I don't know if I was on the board or not for that period of time.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah, I will keep working on those applications. I think that's not a rush because we have a while till
Right.
Mm,
pretty much everyone's renewed at this point, so. I'll keep working on that when I have time.
we have
Um,
time.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
and then we'll bring it back to the board when I'm ready and. I'll try to get them all out to you before the meeting so you can look at them and then hopefully if they're good, we can vote to accept them at that point. Next is the DPH Master Service Agreement. I don't know if Alex said anything about this to you guys.
Is that, what was that?
That was from Deborah Dinkins, that
Yeah,
contract.
What exactly is that?
So I had to figure that out before I asked Russell Fox to sign it. Because I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
Alex applied for it towards the end of January. And basically what it is it's like a generic state contract. And when we, enter the no funding was exchanged or anything like that. But when we do something like the Public Health Excellence Grant, it just simplifies the whole contracting process for the state. I think the only thing that it would change for us is we would get the money quicker. So the DPH was, when I talked to them, they were encouraging it. The woman I talked to, she said basically it's like going from a written check to doing something like Venmo. So it just, the Venmo, it's like a payment app on your phone.
Yeah,
So,
we're old,
yeah.
okay. I don't know what it-
And it goes, and it's till 2038, so we don't have to fill another one out till then?
Right. So it's just like a pre-agreement of like the terms of the contract. So if we enter another contract with them, they'll be like, all right, we already have this figured out. how much do you want? And then, so it just simplifies it. I don't fully understand it, but, I mentioned it to Carl and he was like, oh yeah, we do these all the time. So I was like, okay. I think other state, departments of the state do the same thing, so.
Okay, so that was taken
So
care of.
that, Laura had to sign it to give Russell signature authority and Russell signed it. I sent it back to Deborah Dinkins at DPH. And they will sign it and get it back to us.
And then we'll put it in a folder,
Yeah,
master service. I wonder how come you're hazy on there?
Yeah, I know, he's fuzzy.
No,
Am
so
I
no, you're
fuzzy?
not fuzzy. Maybe it has to do with which eye it's looking at.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it is a little funny.
yeah, you're fuzzy.
This OSHA, and being like the OSHA officer and
Yes,
the SDSs, and did Tom talk to you about that?
yes, a little bit. Carl CC'd me on an email with, the woman from Maya. I think they're they're the insurance
Insurance.
company for the city or for the town. And I think they were kind of the main point of contact for doing the OSHA stuff. So, I haven't heard back from her yet, but, Tom also gave me a contact, I think at the state. So that's still on my list to reach out to them and kind of get a better idea of what exactly that entails. Cause that's something that's new to me, so. Last week, Carl had a, department head meeting. Nothing too crazy. I think it was just a matter of, I think they haven't had one in a long time, so kind of getting everybody back together. And they did mention the budget hearings, and I printed out you guys probably got an email, but I printed out the
Yeah.
schedule.
You come with me? I mean, so Jim doesn't have to come from Springfield? Oh, is your father's name Jim?
John,
John.
I had an Uncle Jim.
Jim.
Yeah.
I knew a Jim
Yeah,
back in high school. It's like, you're right, Tom.
yeah,
Well, if I call you Jim, maybe we'll get confused between the two Toms.
yeah, there we go.
Well, you could call them Jim and I have no idea who you're talking about. Do you can't go by yourself?
Well, you can come with me, can't you?
I already have it on my calendar.
Thank you. It's March 25th.
Yes, I have it on my
15 minutes.
calendar. I know.
Usually we have 5
Nine,
minutes.
9 something, right?
Well,
9.
Usually we have 5
9:20.
minutes. We have 15 minutes this time.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Not really. They have free donuts and coffee.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee.
So that was one thing from that, and then there's also gonna be I don't remember where it was gonna be, but another new subdivision with about 25 lots that will be on septic, so,
Mort Vining,
More binding?
yeah.
yes. Across from Flynn Farm.
Is that art?
It was Art's Farm, yeah.
Talking about developments, the Cabana property that they're dividing up?
Yep,
Now, that, when you talked to John Goddard, he said that was gonna be sewered.
I believe so. I think he said it will be a commercial, I think it will be for commercial property. So he said it's not currently sewered, but he said most likely if anyone does anything there, they will run a lateral and they will be able to hook up to sewer.
Okay.
But they were gonna just split that into 5 lots, I
Because then
think.
otherwise, we're gonna have to obviously have perk it and stuff.
Right.
It should be,
One,
Right, if they really need to do septic, if they can't hook up to sewer, there's a lot of space there.
now,
They should be able to.
but there's a lot of wetlands back there
True.
too.
True.
conservation be involved.
Yeah,
With town water, is town water accessible there? Because it was gonna be with Carvana, but
I don't know. I'm still back to where they're gonna run the laterals from for the sewer.
That I'm not
well,
sure.
Yeah,
isn't it behind, Forest? Come down?
no, remember it never went back there?
I thought it was way behind there and it was gonna be a hardship for it to come to college.
I don't think it went back there. I think the closest to that is the rail trail.
Cause they talked about, if it would go to the Chinese restaurant, you know, cause all the trouble they have with their septic system.
Right, but it didn't, because if a sewer line goes by, through, or near your property, you're assessed a betterment. You may not be connected. And you would have to connect yourself if you were a business anyways,
Right,
but you would be assessed, so I think. If my memory serves me, Fox. Florist did not want it go to their property because, you know, it's a florist, they use minimal septic.
And also it's gonna be quite a cost to bring it
Right,
right.
over.
right,
Right.
so I don't think it even goes to there.
Yeah.
I could be
But
wrong,
either way, whatever they do.
right,
You know, if they need perk, we're gonna perk it. If they have to put a well in, then we
Yeah.
comes
Right.
through us.
Right. Yeah,
Also, that was tobacco land too, right? So with the tobacco down by, used to have EDB in it.
Right.
and
Yeah.
Temek,
right. Yeah, so,
Those houses have all been connected.
right, yeah, if they have to put in a well, that could be an
We could test
issue.
for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's all I have.
Yeah. So that was it with the department head meeting. There was a HCHC meeting last week. Not much to report from there, other than,
What's HCHC?
that's the Hampden County Health Coalition. They pay for my phone.
Did you
and-
get Tom's phone? You got a hand-me-down?
No, I had a HCHC phone for Montgomery. So I was able to just keep my same phone and same number, since a bunch of septic people already know to call me there.
And that's different than your personal phone?
Yep, yep. So I was able to keep that phone and just told them to switch it to Southwick. So
Now also, do they give up your number at all out in the office, and would they make sure they give out that number? So
yeah,
you
I
have the
don't,
number?
they haven't yet. I'll talk to Karen tomorrow
Okay, so they
and
give
tell
out
her
that number.
if someone, needs to. There's something urgent, they can call that cell phone.
Okay. Instead of leaving the voicemail.
Yeah. So one thing with that group is their phone bill is crazy, because it's for all the towns in Hampden County. And they did a survey and they found out that like half the phones, maybe not quite half, but a lot of the phones, like each community gets 2 phones. So like a lot of towns that are just, here's a phone and it's just sitting in someone's drawer, not being used. So they're trying to cut down on any of the unnecessary phones. So I think the only phone we ever had from them was Tom's,
Alex,
but Tom, yeah, it would have become, that same line would have become Alex's. So,
no,
No,
Tom had one and
And
Alex
now-
had one.
Alex
I
had one,
think so.
okay.
I don't know, Alex was supposed to turn his in. I don't know if he was gonna
I-
turn it into Hampden County.
I think it's in my office. So
Okay,
they never want the physical phone back. Cause the phone bill is so much. When someone needs a new phone, Verizon just gives it for free. Because the bill is like $10,000 a month or something for
so what do we do with that phone?
I had over the years, when I've gotten new phones from them, I had about three old phones just sitting in my desk in Westfield.
so you can tell them
So,
to cut off
yeah,
Tom's and
I'm
cut
gonna-
off Alex.
I'm gonna tell them to cut off any other lines other than
Right.
my line,
Right.
because we don't need
Right.
them, and they're just
Right,
sitting in the desk, and
And they
yeah.
don't want him back.
they don't want the phones back, so,
yeah. Cause they just have to get rid of them.
right,
And that way you can just leave them in your drawer until you retire and somebody else is
somebody
gonna
else.
get rid of
Well,
them.
no,
Right.
well then, if we don't need him, if we don't need any of the data or the information on them, which there shouldn't be really any information on them, other than phone calls and all,
right,
then we should find out how to dispose of them.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking.
yeah,
I was thinking of, I'll bring that up next time there's a Hampden County Health meeting. Because I'm sure that other people in the group have unused phones. So I'll see if maybe we could pool them all together and donate them or something.
How do you get rid of the data though?
Right.
Make sure
Right,
that somebody like Jim can go through that phone and
right,
delete it, everything.
Right.
That's on it.
yeah. So yeah, I'll look into that, or like you said, they'll just be in my desk till I retire, and
No,
in 30 years, someone can figure it out.
So he just committed to 30 years
Yeah.
of being here.
oh, good.
So, do you
Until
hear?
he retires.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the minutes.
Do,
Um,
make sure he signs them.
yeah, I will.
We don't even sign the minutes anymore.
I just signed them and sent them over to you. You
Oh.
signed them.
Well,
No, we tabled them.
we did.
No, these are
These are
from
the-
Oh, those
October.
are previous minutes. Oh,
He's
okay,
been here in the sixth.
Yeah.
okay. And then housing code training, Tom and I both went to that, was last week. That is for new housing code, which is coming out in April. So they just kind of updated us on all the things that are changing.
Now, that was a freebie.
Yep. So that was good. We'll have to wait till it actually comes out, but there was some stuff about alternative housing. Tiny homes and things like that. But it doesn't. The alternative housing, you can't rent it, so that wouldn't play into like Airbnb and anything like that. But I do know there's a short-term rental town bylaw or something going around. I haven't had a chance to look into that yet, but
Yeah, we were invited to meetings and stuff.
okay,
Alex was and Tom was,
okay.
so. I'm not
So, yeah,
sure where that is.
I'll follow up on that, but yeah, the housing code, nothing crazy changing, but a few things that should make some things a little easier, so. Started having staff meetings with the nurses. So if we only had one so far, and just kind of went over getting to know each other and how they're gonna report time off and mileage and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy there. And couple,
And you're all set on, yeah, how to order, you need to order stuff and.
yep, I think so.
money and-
I think so. I think so far they have a better idea of that than I do, but I think I'm catching on, so. Couple unanticipated items that have happened in the past 2 days. The Prime Steakhouse, the old Lake Life, the old Walk on the Water, and Blue Bees, their application was held up because the owner owed taxes. She paid the taxes, so I think the permit is ready to go. So I have their check, and without D, I'm not 100% sure how
That's,
to.
what do you have? You have the application.
Application,
their
third stage,
their
yep.
everything.
As far as I know, everything is there.
Okay,
So I just have to they're planning to open next week. So I would just have to do the final inspection before they open, and other than that, as far as I can tell, I think they have everything, so.
So what do we do with the money, Gene? How's that work?
that, well, you have to create the permits
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
I think I can figure it out. It looks like it's a Excel form, and
Yeah.
just go in and change the
Right.
names and save it and sign it.
Which, by the way, if you want, can you hold off until Tuesday?
Yeah, I think I put it in my calendar, what day they were opening.
Because I would like to change this permitting stuff to make it so much easier for the next person that comes
Mhm.
in.
Okay,
Because what they do is have a blank permit for haulers. And then they go in and change, the hauler's number, the year, and give it a number. And then they type in the hauler's address and the mailing address and this, that, and the other thing. So, and then the next hauler, then you gotta go in and you change that, and you change the name, and you change the address. But if you create this permit for ABC haulers and save it as a tab, then the next year, the only thing you have to do is change the
year,
permit number.
Oh, right,
And then you can change and then create one for BCS haulers. The next year, you know, you save it as a tab
right,
Well, you can just
and
have
then
your haulers,
poof,
you can have a haulers
There,
tab and have
right.
them all in there.
right.
Yeah,
So you can have
right,
tabs on, you know, I mean, you're just killing yourself doing, retyping the same information and over every year.
right, right,
Basically, it's all you have to do is
Yeah.
save them.
yeah. Have we ever looked into doing like permitting software or anything? I don't know much about it. In Westfield, they had, I know we have Munis in Southwick, but I don't know if it's a different,
That was, we looked into like for 26,000 or something.
But that was for inspections. That was Tom's
Oh, okay.
permitting when he went into a restaurant and
Yeah.
then had blah. No, that was basically for inspections.
Okay,
okay,
So,
do you have that in Westfield?
no, we didn't have that.
but I don't think Southwick is, you know, a metropolis.
Right,
And it's really, you know, not encumbersome.
right, right,
If you set it up,
right,
then year
Right.
after year after year, it's there. You don't need a program.
right.
You created it. It's there.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Okay,
okay,
And I can help you because I don't have access to the town computers. Doing
okay.
typing or anything.
So that
you
was
can
the,
do it at home
Do it at home and send it in.
as an attachment.
Oh, yeah.
that was the first unanticipated
Oh.
item.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
So if you do a couple, then I can, know how you do it.
yeah.
Cause what's it
Yeah.
under? Is it under Excel?
No, it's in a shared drive. You can't get that. But I can save it in my folder and then send it to you. And then we'll
It's a
work on
shared
it.
drive. What's the format? Excel or
Excel.
Excel.
Excel?
Yeah.
So we'll work on it.
Yeah.
Because I have the summer off too.
Okay,
Other,
perfect.
but you're not gonna be on the board anymore.
No, but I'm still a secretary.
You could be our secretary.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
Cause,
only 10 hours
okay, I don't have 10 hours,
for the summer.
maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so, so
And
that,
if- I'm sorry,
yeah,
how
You-
rude.
that's all right.
It says unanticipated items 48 hours prior to posting. It
Oh,
wouldn't be
No,
prior.
yeah.
It's gotta be past
That-
posting,
Yeah,
after
Okay.
posting.
because I'm sitting there, well, if you had them 48 hours prior to posting, why did you post it?
Yep. No, that's a good catch.
See, we read stuff.
Yeah.
huh? Okay,
So, okay, so Prime Steakhouse,
Prime Steakhouse. So that one we'll sort out on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
They are planning to open on Thursday, so I was planning to inspect them on Wednesday.
sure.
For dads, that was the plan that just. I think I put in your folder. Yeah,
Kitchen,
this
is it
kitchen
gonna be
layout.
on Krabby Joe's?
Yeah, that's Krabby Joe's.
Have you
That
been?
I just, the guy tried to send it to Tom like weeks ago and I don't know if it didn't go through.
that's Krabby Joe's.
Apparently,
What's REF? What's REF stand for? Refreshment, reference?
refrigeration maybe, maybe that's the walk-in.
Refrigeration, yeah.
No, well, they got freezers.
I didn't give myself a copy.
Well, you
You
wanna
haven't been
share?
Oh, I
there.
took my
You
Kenny.
haven't been there yet, though.
No, I haven't been out there at all.
Then, yeah, I
Um,
would go there.
yeah, so this one I was gonna ask, I've seen some stuff about like Tom doing like a restaurant plan review. I think this maybe should be considered a new, cause it sounds
Yeah.
like there's so much work that they needed to do there. So I was just wanted to check in with you guys. I was gonna call Tom in maybe next week and see if he can,
Help you with this.
yeah, I mean, I know I could figure it out, but I also wanna
Yeah,
I don't want to change the process too much of what we've done in the
Right,
past, so
okay.
I want to consult with him and see. Kind of how he's handled things, and he might have even been out here himself already, so.
yeah.
But just wanted to update you guys on that. And lastly, on the last unanticipated item. Past 48 hours past posting was, I had the health agent from Agawam brought in a plan. That is on Rising Corner. So the entire house is in Southwick. So building permitting is going through Southwick. If this was the house, this is the side that the septic comes out on. And this is literally the town line. It goes along the side of the house. So the entire septic is in Agawam. They had a perk done. They did a plan. And that was witnessed by Agawam.
That failed.
No, it passed.
Oh,
It
okay.
passed. So, Agawam, when he received the plan to review it, because everything is done through Southwick Building, he wanted us to take and review the plan and permit the septic. And I wasn't sure of it, but when I reviewed the plan, I was thinking I might as well do it. It simplifies things. It's not confusing of which town it is. However, because it was an Agawam, Tom Fitzgerald was the one that did the perk. He didn't design the plan, but he had done the perk test in Agawam. So I think that I should return that plan to Agawam and say, probably a conflict of interest because Tom's still a consultant for us. And he was involved in this project. So it's on Agawam property, so you guys should permit it. But I wanted to see what you guys thought.
They don't go through a conservation check like we do they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Is there a for sale sign in front of that house already?
I haven't driven by, I'm not sure.
Because if there is, it's on like the trail.
Oh, okay.
Tom did the perk
Yeah,
and he still works for us as a consultant.
right.
Right,
He didn't do the plan though, so
He didn't do the plan.
that, I don't know enough about the law if that.
I mean, I don't even know if they have something like that on the law.
Go to.
GIS
Yeah.
mapping.
Now, in the past, we've had other consultants that we've hired.
Yeah,
Say, for example, trying to think, who's the guy? Name some names.
Barry, Searle, Randy White. Dennis LaCourse.
Dennis LaCourse. Where he did perks in town,
No,
and we
just
might have used him
get
to,
rid of the number 8.
Yeah. Let's see. Must be this. Must be this one.
so it's a house that's a repair?
I think it's new construction.
Shrink it, Tom, shrink. No.
Oh,
the other.
oh, yeah.
The other shrink. Rising Corner. That's Suffield.
Yeah.
This is Agawam Town Line.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's this one here, 5.
Okay.
Because I do remember it had the state line on it. And if you zoom out, so that like, there's like a little triangle here of the property that is
In
Agawam, and that's where the
So
septic
that's-
is.
And he's even got, looks like a little portion in Connecticut.
Yeah,
Wow.
so the house is like literally gonna be like right here on Southwick. And then the septic is gonna be like right here in Agawam.
Yeah.
So
Quite honestly, I don't think I have an issue with Tom doing the perk
Okay,
and you reviewing the plan.
okay.
And then Agawam final say, I mean.
Yeah, and we are gonna
We're
issue
not
the
gonna sign
permit.
off.
The health agent in Agawam didn't want anything to do with it. He thought it should be, even though they already did the perk. Agawam witnessed the perk test. We didn't witness the perk test. So he thought that we should entirely, from this point forward, give them a disposal works permit, approve the plan.
That's
And,
an
Agawam wouldn't have anything to do
It's
with
an
it.
Agawam now.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right. Okay, I'll send it back to him.
Yeah,
Is the tank gonna be in Southwick or Agawam?
everything's in the
Everything in
Agawam.
it. His
Yeah,
concern
well-
was, his concern was that there is, due to the elevation, there's going to be a grinder pump in the house. Which is installed by a plumber. Which would be permitted by Southwick. Building Department.
God, I don't know, who could you ask for? DEP?
I reached out to
Somebody could ask?
DEP and he said. He was like, I don't know, and I was like, I said, I'm sure if we put in a request to the DEP lawyers, they would say. We don't care as long as one of you does it,
Mhm.
and he laughed and he said, yeah, you're probably right. So. And I reached out to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Charlie Kinnicky,
Yes,
who
yeah,
is a wealth of knowledge, and he kind of said the same thing. He was like, you probably could just permit it or give it back. No one at the state would care, probably, so,
Yeah,
I would say, okay, look at it, is there anything glaring? But to me, it's Agawam's property,
right,
so we shouldn't be giving out a permit to put a septic system in Agawam,
right,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
right,
I don't think,
okay,
feel comfortable with that.
yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
would have no problem if it was,
if
you
it
know,
was part,
Tom's
right,
permit and it was partially, I mean, Tom did the perk and it was partially in Southwick, partially in Agawam, but
right,
I don't know.
yeah.
That's my feeling, what's your,
Yeah, that was my initial and I know there was, when I was in Westfield, we had some, like, along the Southampton border that. Was a Westfield house and Southampton permitted the septic and vice versa, so. That's what I thought was kind of the standard rule, but.
who is the Agawam health agent now, or health, or a few of them?
Mike Thoreau, and there's another inspector in the office as well. I heard Mike is leaving though. He was the one that brought it in, so. But that was my initial reaction was that they should do it. Maybe we could ask for a copy when it's all said and done of the as-built, because it's a Southwick house, so they might come here looking for it. But
And then, but look at the plan and
Yeah.
stuff, but have it all up to them, their inspection and,
right, okay, that's all I got.
question, okay, the sewers. Is it just take the effluent or does it take everything? Do they, people who are on sewers,
Yeah,
are their tanks crushed?
they're filled or,
All right, so they
Yeah.
don't use the tanks,
They-
everything goes.
no, yeah,
So all our septic files in there. I don't know if anybody ever went through them, because if you don't have a septic system now, you don't
Right.
need to have the permit, you don't need to have
the plans
the
or
plan in
anything.
there anymore.
Right,
And we could probably clean the files out.
Yeah, well, you let me know when you have time to do that, so.
Well, I'll do it.
Okay,
I just would need to know exactly where the sewers are running to know.
I
which
have a
street.
list,
You do?
right,
Okay,
because I have a connection with the sewer implementation committee secretary,
that's right. You do.
it's me.
She is.
over here,
Yeah, so I could.
So I have a list of all the connected properties.
Cause I started going through the files and just getting rid of. Like, we don't need 10 copies of the same thing, you know, or
Right.
just, we don't need something from 30 years ago, I mean.
Okay,
right,
So I've been going through it, and it'd be good to go through and
Yeah.
pull those out.
Yeah.
Even-
Right,
It's past my bedtime.
Okay, so our next meeting will be, the first Thursday in March, which is, anybody know? At six
Can tell you.
PM, and the, nurses will give their reports, either pass them in or
The second,
it'll be March 2nd.
March second. Either pass them in or, present them.
8:47, I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion, and are we all in favor?
Unanimous,
Yes,
I am in favor, you are in favor. So 8:45.
8:47.
7:47, 7:46, according to the computer.